Whether you're a brand new Amazon seller or an established pro, there's a few simple and highly avoidable mistakes that are going to drain all of your profit and your motivation if you don't know what to look for. These are the things that no one is talking about when you look at the highlight reels all over social media, but they're what actually matters when it comes down to staying profitable as an Amazon seller. So in this video, we're breaking down the biggest mistakes that Amazon sellers make that cause them to lose money and eventually quit the process of making money on their own. So if you want to avoid draining your bank account, wasting your time, or even getting your Amazon account suspended, make sure you watch all of this video. But enough talking about it, let's jump into the computer over here, and I want to show you probably the number one most important thing and most important reason why so many people start Amazon FBA and just never get anywhere. And it boils down to something very simple, right? So when new sellers start looking to find profitable products, they're looking at things like this t-shirt, for example, right? Sells for $12.99. If we go over to the listing on Amazon, you can see we do make $3 profit buying it for that cost, but the ROI is not quite there. And for a lot of sellers, this would be the end of the road. They're not going to buy this item because the profit wasn't immediately obvious. And in this case, hopefully it was pretty obvious based on this coupon here that, oh, we can actually add 20% to our margin here, right? We can go ahead and subtract 20% from our buy cost. And now instead of a 25, 23% ROI, it's over doubled. And now it's a very interesting item, right? Probably the most important mistake that new sellers make is that they expect to always find products profitable when you need to be making items profitable, right? So it's not always going to slap you in the face like it did on this example with big coupon being here. Sometimes you might need to check a free version of ways to check for coupons, just being Capital One Shopping, which is like a free Chrome extension. Another way that you can make items profitable is with things like discounted gift cards. And I know some of you are thinking like, oh, this is complicated. This takes work. Yeah, it takes work to make money online. I'll be the first to let you know that you're not going to get rich quick buying stuff online. It is hard work. It is going to take real effort. But if you take into account all of the stuff we're going to break down today, and you're willing to actually work hard at it, you're going to make a good amount of money on Amazon. So what I just wanted to show you an example here. We can go in and we can buy, you see a $50 gift card for $43.02. And then let's say we're looking at this website when there is no coupon code. Okay, I checked for discounted gift cards and oh, it's still profitable again, right? So you can see there's lots of different ways to make this item profitable. And in this case, we can use that coupon and we can also use our discounted gift card of 14%. And we've taken this item from something that is not really profitable, like a little bit, to something that's extremely profitable, extremely high ROI. And it really, you can see it sells quite well, right? This is SellerAmp. That's what you'll use to source all your profitable items. You can also boost your margin with things like cashback. So this is a website I use to show me all the different options for websites that do provide cashback. So it looks like today I can buy this through Inbox Dollars. Usually these are all like free Chrome extensions, that kind of thing. You just click them, activate the cashback, check out as normal, and that would get you another 20% in cashback based on that calculation right there. Now keep in mind, cashback isn't always going to pay out, and some portals don't like resellers and that kind of thing. So I always treat this like bonus money. With coupons and sales and discounted gift cards, that margin is instantly created. So I'm all over including that as part of my decision-making process when I'm finding good products. But this is super, super helpful, as now when you're trying to go out and find those next profitable items, you're probably doing it by looking directly through storefronts. If you don't know how to do this, is the best way to source products. And as I'm looking through, I can see, oh, what is the max cost I need to buy this for it to be profitable? The average seller, they might Google this item, see whatever the price pops up at. I think it was showing up at like $21 right there. It's actually a perfect example, right? So you can see performance deck polo shirt, something like that, $22. We need to buy it for 18 to be profitable. The average seller is going to look at that and be like, oh, that's not profitable. I don't need to worry about that. But like we just talked about, we can make our profit on that. We don't have to just find profitable products. We can make it with discounted gift cards. We can make it profitable with coupons. And that is an extremely important distinction. And if you understand that, that's going to be the difference between trying Amazon for a week and failing and finding no products, and trying Amazon for a week or two, finding lots of profitable products, getting off to an awesome start in your Amazon business. And with that in mind, that's an awesome transition to the second biggest mistake that I see Amazon sellers make, and that is operating way too slowly. There is money to be made here, so you need to operate as quickly as possible to jump on some of these opportunities. And to take advantage of these opportunities, I want to show you one quick way to take an item like this shirt that we were already looking at and get your money made faster, right? So I'm going to show you two different ways to make your money faster. The number one easiest way to make your money faster is to look at products like this. So you can see lots of different sellers on this listing. I use this as a specific example because there are 37 sellers on the listing. Lots of them are FBA sellers where they're shipping direct to Amazon, and then Amazon is shipping that out from there. Usually when you sell on a listing, you're going to make more sales as an FBA seller, but you have the wait time of waiting for things to check in at Amazon, right? So usually it takes a week or two at least for those items to become available for sale. So what you can do is you can list these items as an FBM seller, and that's even what's going on here. As you can see, this item is shipped from OptiNutrients, probably a small third-party seller right there. Let's see. Yeah, so when I mouse over, you can see they literally have zero feedback. So this is a brand new Amazon seller that is able to, number one, win sales on this listing, but also win sales as an FBM offer, right? So when you're an FBM seller, as soon as this sells, you're going to ship it directly to the customer, which means the day it shows up at your house, or if you're going out to stores to buy profitable products, you can list them while you're in the store. And as soon as that item sells, you're able to see how fast is this going to sell? Do customers actually want it? And you're not waiting for that lag time of things to check into Amazon FBA, right? So you're selling products faster and you're beating competition to the listing. So as a brand new Amazon seller, it's natural that you're going to find some things that other people also found. And there's going to be a slight increase in sellers. But if you're the seller that listed it the day it showed up via FBM on your porch, you're going to beat almost everyone else. And that price is still going to be nice and high. So you're going to have the opportunity to make way more profitable sales, beating other people to the listing and being quick, right? The reason why I show you this listing is because you need to make sure that the listing is friendly to being sold by FBM sellers. So you can see right here, just now an FBM seller won the sales. Right now, this other different FBM seller is winning sales. You can see 4 minutes ago, a different FBM seller won sales a few days ago, and so on, right? So there's a lot of FBA and FBM. When you look at a lot of products though, it will show you that it's probably all FBA, all in this case, all sold by Amazon, right? So those are things you want to avoid if you are planning to sell them as an FBM seller. If you look on the buy box rotation and you only see FBA sellers, that's fine. There's still another great hack that you can use to get those FBA products sold a little bit faster, and that's going to be using Boxem to make your shipments into Amazon FBA. All you'll need to do is take advantage of the 2D barcodes that are available on Boxem. You have to use a software like Boxem to have access to that. You can't create them through Amazon itself, but it's just a simple extra barcode that's going to be added to your FBA box labels as you go through the process of shipping this product out. It's going to take no extra work. It's just going to add an extra barcode to your FBA box label, slap it on the box, and it helps the FBA check-in process. And for my business and lots of other people who use Boxem, we're seeing sales a couple days faster on average. So if you're not able to FBM a product and you still want that speed advantage, make sure you're using Boxem. You should be using Boxem anyway, because it'll track all your profit, make shipments a lot easier. But that's just another good reason why it will make you money to be using things like Boxem as well. And overall, just remember to be as fast as possible, right? Make that sale as fast as possible. You're not going to make money letting stuff sit in the corner and you wait a week to make a shipment, right? As soon as you possibly can, make sure you're making progress towards actually making the sale. This third beginner mistake is actually the reason why it took me over a year to sell my first $100,000 on Amazon. And it's why I got stuck selling used books instead of realizing, like you do right now, that I could actually sell new products on Amazon and make it way more scalable and just have a lot more fun with the business. Because the third beginner mistake that tons of people are making is trying to be a lone wolf Amazon seller. And this is by far the most ignored piece of advice that I ever give out, but everyone who takes it gets so much richer. So if you're serious about this, take me seriously on this piece of advice, because as soon as you go from an Amazon seller who has to figure out everything on your own to an Amazon seller who has even 1 to 3 Amazon seller friends who you can text, hop on FaceTime, Discord, whatever you can access together, and start sharing ideas. Say, hey, I had a lot of success sourcing this website today. What did you check out? Hey, I'm running into this issue with my account. I know you had this last week. Can you help me out? And then you're going to scratch other people's backs as well. And this all comes down to networking and finding the right people to work with in your business. A lot of people way overthink this process though. So I want to show you an example of someone who's done an awesome job. And I've even shown Ryan in a previous video. He's awesome. I've got a video with him on the channel, and people like Ryan and also Carlos, who I interviewed on the channel recently as well. They're great examples of people who just go out, document whatever they're up to. See, Ryan is sharing some jokes about selling on Amazon. He takes a video of himself basically every day at this point, just kind of sharing what he's up to, sharing his progress. And Ryan's actually doing over $100,000 months, and he started his business less than a year ago. And the reason why having just a super simple presence like this is so important is now people are coming directly to Ryan, and people like Ryan are reaching out to each other to share ideas and do exactly what I was talking about, right? So instead of trying to figure everything out on your own, it's going to be so much more fun, and it's going to be way more profitable to figure it out with other people. So if you have the confidence to make a social media page, make it separate from your regular stuff. You don't want to show friends and family what you're up to. I totally get that. That's what I did. And if that seems way too scary to you, number one, I would encourage you to push yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit. You're trying to do something by starting a business that is something that not everybody gets to do, and not everyone's going to be successful at, right? So you're going to have to leave that comfort zone, but you can also make it even simpler just by hopping into free Discord groups, Facebook Facebook groups. There's tons of awesome free communities out there full of serious Amazon sellers. We have a Discord and a Facebook group down below that you can check out for free. Just make a quick post in there, share what you're up to, say, hey, I'd love to work with some other Amazon sellers who are at my level. I did $5,000 in sales last month. I'm just starting my business. Does anyone want to hop on a call and talk shop? And keep it super simple. You're just trying to make some Amazon seller friends. Just try to find some people you can bully into getting rich together. That's how I like to look at it. It's not anything formal. Networking, all that kind of stuff can feel really scary, but put yourself out there, make a friend, and you're going to get way richer. And through the process of finding tons more items, that brings me on to beginner mistake number 4 that I see, and that's not doing a couple simple checks to make sure that you can actually sell the item. So I want to show you 2 or 3 different ways that I've run into this in the past, and making this mistake actually cost me about $10,000 when I was starting my Amazon business. So don't be like me, learn from this quick mistake here, right? So the first thing that I see a lot of beginners fall for is looking at listings like this, which obviously sells super well. Amazon is all over it though, is the problem. And you can even see there's 44 people that are trying to sell on this product right now, but the only one who has won a single sale in the last 90 days is Amazon, right? At least they're the only ones who have won the add to cart button. So the only way that third-party sellers have made a sale is if somebody went on Amazon, they're like, I don't want to buy directly from Amazon. I'm going to see what are these other people on the listing selling it for. They open it up and they realize, oh, Kelly's Closet is actually selling it for the same price as Amazon. Why don't I buy it from some random person instead of Amazon, right? That's not going to happen super often. And that can actually lead to you getting stuck with some inventory. So that's just number 1 thing to check to make sure you personally can actually make some sales. Check that pie chart down here on SellerAmp. You can see, try to sell this, Amazon's going to win basically all the sales. If you compare that to something like this, you can see tons of different small third-party sellers all getting a little piece of the pie. And that's exactly what you want to see. Another quick example I'll show you is actually based on something a student actually sent me. So I want to show you guys all just like in a quick example, something you need to avoid. You can see this right here is technically a Crayola product, but number 1, it's being sold by the wrong brand. So you can see Create On is trying to pretend that they own Crayola in this case. They're really going to end up getting in some trouble. That's actually mistake number 1 on this listing, is always make sure that this brand matches whatever the brand is on the listing. That way you're not falling into any copyright infringement or anything like that on accident. And you can also see the seller is also Create On, which is the same as the brand. So you'll see this on lots of like private label products and so on. This means that the seller is also the listing owner and they can kick you off at any time. And if you were the brand owner here, you'd probably want to make sure you're getting all the opportunity, right? Because if you're already breaking some rules, pretending that you own Crayola here in this case, you want to kick off other sellers that are trying to get a piece of that pie, right? So just avoid listings where the brand is also a seller on that product. They can kick you off the listing, and there's plenty of other things that are open for third-party sellers to sell. And then the third thing you want to check to make sure that you actually can make a sale on a product is just going into Amazon Seller Central or listing them on Boxem to confirm that you're actually already ungated for this product. So if I go to Stafford t-shirt, like that example I just showed you, number 1, this is going to be an auto ungate for a lot of you guys. You can see if I go in here, I can press new, and then I can sell this product right away. If I compare that to something like L'Oreal, for example, I'll go in here and it'll say copy listing. And what this means is I am not allowed to even request approval in this brand, right? We're not currently accepting new applications for this product. That means that I just completely have to avoid this and source something better. On the flip side, if I go to, I believe something like Milwaukee Tools, where I'm currently not ungated to sell it, but it at least says apply to sell, right? So I go new, you need approval, I can apply to sell, and then it's going to just take me through that approvals process, right? So all I'll need is an invoice from a website that I bought it from profitably, like we found these shirts, a wholesaler invoice if you're doing wholesale, wherever you got it, just make sure you're getting 10 of it, submit that to Amazon, and you can get approved. But before you buy something thinking that you can just ungate anything and apply to ungate anything, make sure that your account has this apply to sell button for that specific product, and you'll be good to go, even if you do have to go through that approvals process with the order confirmation or wholesale invoice. And that brings me to beginner mistake number 5, which I'm going to tie together as just the biggest mental mistakes that you can make as an Amazon seller. So number 1, I know a lot of you guys are probably weeks into a YouTube binge trying to learn how to sell on Amazon. You're like, oh, I'll start selling next month or next week. Why wait that long? Go source something right now. If you've watched this far, you've probably watched another video already where you saw how to source some products. Turn this video off right now, go do it. Don't overthink the process and don't overstudy the process, because at the end of the day, I will let you know it's not that complicated to sell stuff on Amazon. It's, can you get it cheap? Can you sell it for more? The tactics of how to get really good at that, there's some nuggets you can pick up here and there, but it's mostly just putting in the reps, getting comfortable, figuring out when an item looks like a good deal. And the only way to grow that muscle is by practicing it as often as possible. And within that, now that you've promised to immediately solve all your overthinking problems magically by listening to me say that, that brings me on to the other very important mental aspect, which is not setting too crazy high of expectations on yourself. And for most of you, this is going to come down to setting goals that are actually reasonable and fair expectations on yourself. Let me just show you some quick numbers behind behind whatever your goal is, right? So let's say you want to sell 100,000 bucks over the rest of the year. You're probably going to spend about $50,000 to make that happen. So that's a pretty common breakdown. For my store, it usually hangs right around there. So for every dollar I spend, I'll sell $2 in revenue, which would mean if you do want that $100,000 a year run rate like we've got right here, that means you're going to need to spend, it makes sense, a little over $4,000 a month on inventory. And that also assumes that everything you bought sold exactly as planned, right? And that's not always going to happen, of course. So it's even a little bit higher than that. You might end up selling some of that inventory a little bit slower than you'd expect. So realistically, if you want to sell 100,000 bucks a year, you're spending probably around $5,000 to $6,000 a month on inventory. And if that's your goal right now, I love it. But if you're starting with 500 bucks, just set yourself a little bit more reasonable short-term goal. I love having an awesome long-term goal, but also set yourself a reasonable and very achievable short-term goal so you don't get overwhelmed by the process and throw in the towel, even if you were succeeding, just not at these crazy high levels that you would put on yourself arbitrarily. At the end of the day, your biggest competition to making money online, on Amazon, and anything in general is competing against yourself. So don't beat yourself up too much if you're not a millionaire tomorrow from selling on Amazon, but just remember that the only way you do get there is by starting with that consistent effort right this second. So if you're excited to put in that consistent effort to make money on Amazon, make sure you grab 2-week free trials of SellerAmp and box them down below. Those are the softwares that you actually need to find profitable products as list, ship, and manage your whole business. Let me know if you do have any questions, comments, anything like that. Always happy to chat with you guys down below in the comments section. If you want to help me out for free, if this video was helpful at all, hit that subscribe button down below. Help me get that shiny 100K YouTube subscriber plaque. I really appreciate you watching this video. And if you want to see how I was able to make over $800 sourcing for 20 minutes, go ahead and click this video right here.